It's exactly Wednesday, 22nd of October 2025. Good morning. This is KBC, just in time for KBC News Check. And for the next hour or so, we will be looking at the state of governance and politics in the country, being, I believe, the last day that we are eulogizing. Remember the 7 days of mourning. We are eulogizing Minister Raila. A number of things have happened since he passed on, and being the last day, we really would want to have the last word in regards to the passing of the former premier. So just breaking it down for you, we will be looking at the immediate political vacuum that we have seen has been created and the succession politics therein. We'll also be looking at what has been happening in the country during that time. We do remember that the president did assent to a number of bills that are now acts, and just allow me to just point them out very quickly. They include the National Police Service Commission Amendment Bill of 2024, the Wildlife Conservation and Management Bill of 2023, the Land Amendment Bill of 2022, the National Land Commission Amendment Bill of 2023, the Air Passenger Service Charge Amendment Bill 2025. We also have the National we also had two that have already begun raising some eyebrows, which are the Computer Misuse and Cyber Crime Amendment Bill of 2024 and the Privatization Bill of 2025. These two have generated a lot of heat. The presidential hopeful David Maraga yesterday, the former Chief Justice, they say that indeed some of these acts of law now clawing back on the gains that we've made during devolution, and I'm hoping that all my panelists will be here so that we may be able to delve into that. My name is Bentro Enjoy. I can see Lucy Maura is our sign language interpreter for these live cast, and we would like you to be part of this conversation via all our social media platforms as we are live. Allow me now to rope in one of my panelists who has already gotten to studio. Is Dr. Reverend Elias Otieno Agola, who is the National Chairman, NCC. Good to see you. It's been a while.
Good to see you again.
Yes. Yeah. And maybe to go straight into what we are looking at, but allow me to just remind my viewer is that the 3-day IGAD Ministerial Conference on Labor, Employment and Migration will be today. We're starting today in Machakos County. Then we have day 2 of the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education exams. The Council of Governors extraordinary meeting at Delta House, Nairobi. That is something we are keeping a very keen eye on in regards especially to the sentiments that have been captured on social media and actually also in other media platforms of the Nyeri Governor, Kahiga, with some disparaging remarks in regards to the death of the former Premier Raila Odinga. That we are keeping at least a keen eye on, and as soon as we have that live feed, I have my colleague who has headed there. And also the 2025-26 Devolution, Information, Communication and the Digital Economy Ministry will be having a convention. We will also be looking at that as soon as we have that feed ready. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's delve right in. And Dr. looking at the last 7 days been quite extraordinary for Kenyans. I mean, Raila Odinga, the former Prime Minister, Kenyans have looked up to him for advice, for political mentorship, we have seen handshakes, you know, for just bringing a cohesion in Kenya. And today being, I think, the last day that we are mourning the former Premier, I'd like you to have a word in regards to him. He was a national icon.
Good. Thank you so much, Njue. And thank you, our viewers. It's a wonderful day again that we are here to add our voices to the mourning period that is been in Kenya for the last 7 days. It has not been easy, I know, for many people, especially those who follow Kenya politics. And the moves that are made, the gains that have been there since the multi-party was reintroduced into Kenya. And I would want to take this opportunity again to add my voice to the many voices that have been there, the voices that have been, you know, condoling with the family of the the fallen Prime Minister. It has not been easy for the family. It has not been easy for the ODM. It has not been easy for the entire country, if we are frank enough to say that against the contribution by the Right Honorable Raila Odinga has made us to be where we are, especially with regards to some freedoms and the issues around devolution and the new constitutional dispensation. I know that a lot has been said about the Right Reverend, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and all this is very true, that he denied himself a lot of comfort to fight for the country and to fight for the gains that we are enjoying in the country. He is the father of democracy alongside others that have fought for this. There are still others that they have been with in this fight. Gitobui, Manyara, and the others from all corners of Kenya. And we appreciate the work that they have done. When they started this, I was not very old, and I didn't know that I would be at these positions where we are today. But we want to owe it to them and to say that he has done that which he was supposed to do. And sometimes when people feel convicted and even convinced inside that they are the people to do a particular job, and they step out to begin doing it, others may not know. But when you are gone, that is when other people will look back and say, yes, this person was there and he made this kind of a contribution. The legacy that he left was not just a legacy. It was not also ticking a box, because that is what many people want to do, that they come and it goes into history, that they were there, they did, or they participated in 1, 2, 3. But I think for the former Prime Minister, the late Raila Odinga, it was not just ticking a box. It was not just a move towards leaving a legacy, but it was a move towards identifying the particular gap and moving towards, bridging that gap, helping others to understand that there is a gap somewhere, and drawing people closer to it so that they can also see it and they participate in bridging that gap. And what he has done may not be written in all the books, but in the hearts of the people of Kenya, we will live to remember him. And so for the family, I will still say, Mama Ida and your children, may the Lord comfort you. For ODM party, there is need for you to remain intact and to be together. For the Kenyans, we are more united. We were more united during this time than before, and we could see from all over people streaming in with condolences, tributes, and appreciating the work that has gone on. It is sometimes unfortunate that there are some people who would want to talk loose and bring in seeds of discourse. I think from the beginning we should say that is very unfortunate. And it is not that it is the voice of a particular community. I think it is one person's voice, which can be silenced by asking them to at least tone down.
All right. And we'll be getting actually to a number of things, including he has had like 4 or 5 handshakes since Daniel Moi was president. But we'll be looking at that as well, and the impact and what we to expect, especially now that we had the NADCO report that has not been implemented to date. And we are looking at the state of politics and governance in the country. And now I'm joined by the second analyst as well. Initially, we had Reverend Dr. Elias Otieno Agola, who we still have here, who is the national chair for the NCCK. And now we are joined by a political analyst, George Yogo. Karibu sana, Bwana George.
Thank you so much.
And just before we crossed over to the Agriculture Summit at KICC, we have been, this is the last day that we are eulogizing Baba, and we just been looking at some of the things that he had been able to accomplish, and just having the final word. And in as much as we did bury him, the country is still mourning, and what he was able to achieve in more than 30 plus years that he was in the political sphere is something that is worth noting.
Yes.
Yeah. Want to have your final word in regards to Baba?
Well, I think you cannot quantify the effect of Raila Odinga in so far as socio-economic and political stability of this country is concerned. So we will be doing injustice if we try to his legacy, if we basically try to quantify his impact in our lives, because you cannot quantify the value of almost 10 years spent in detention without trial.
Okay, hold the thought, George. Unfortunately, we seem to be having some issues with your microphone, which we'll be looking at. But allow me to just go back to you, Daktari, because I'm looking at the handshake that he was able to. We saw, all of us, we've seen him have handshake with the former president Daniel Moi. We've seen him having handshake with the former president Kibaki. We saw him also as well having a handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta, and most recently a handshake with President William Ruto. And one thing is that it has been more or less like a divisive and a cohesive, both a positive and a negative. Some people do not like those handshakes. Some people do say that more or less that is killing democracy. But looking at the bigger picture, every time that we've had the handshake, we've had some level of peace. Look at 2007, look at 2017, and also look at after the Gen Z protest. This is one thing that the former premier, I would say, had a knack for, and he was passionate about that. In as much as he had to give up a lot, and especially when it comes to 2007, because he did say, yes, I won this election. I should have been the president. But he accepted the handshake. We had some level of peace and tranquility in the country, and the latest handshake that he had with the President William Ruto in regards to the NADCO, the National Dialogue Committee, they pointed out and said that we have like a 10-point agenda that we need to actualize so that Kenya can remain more cohesive and we have everyone included. Other than seeing the ministerial appointment that we have seen from the political divide, where do you see this handshake going? Do you see whether it will still have the roots that it had now that one of its strong pillars is not around?
Yes, it is important to know that handshakes are part of mediation. I am a trained mediator, I am a certified mediator, I'm accredited mediator, and I train mediators. Even as we speak, we have a class that we are training. In mediation, there is a realization that people have reached a point where they say, we cannot go on like this. The damage that is going to come will be more than the gains that we are going to have if each one of us is going to go their own way. And therefore, what happened during the 1997 when...
Just apologies, Dr. Just hold that thought. We have been waiting for a Council of Governors extraordinary meeting at the Delta House, and I believe now my director, Mogo Kariuki, informs me that they are having a press conference. Let's listen in.
To deliberate on the interpretation and impact of the utterances made by His Excellency Kahiga Mutahi, the Vice Chair of the Council of Governors, and the mitigation thereof. We wish to reiterate our deep disappointment on the statements by the Governor. We still maintain that these sentiments are his personal remarks that do not reflect or represent the views and the values of the Council of Governors. We therefore disassociate ourselves in toto and condemn these utterances, which were untimely, reckless, and unspeakable, especially at this time of deep mourning. In view of this, the Council has unanimously decided, the Council has unanimously agreed to remove His Excellency Kahiga Mutai from the leadership of the Council as the Vice Chair with immediate effect. We have also agreed that in due course we will hold another meeting where a new Vice Chair will be elected. But as of today, the resolution of this meeting is that the Council has passed a vote of no confidence on His Excellency Kahiga Mutai and has agreed to remove him as Vice Chair with immediate effect. The Council of Governors extends its deepest apologies to the family of His Excellency the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga CGH on behalf of the 47 county governments of Kenya for the unfortunate remarks by Governor Kahiga. We continue to mourn with the family during this difficult time and reaffirm our solidarity, our respect, and support to them. The Council remains available to offer any assistance that may be required. We further urge all leaders across the political divide to exercise restraint and mindfulness in their public utterances. As leaders, we must always be guided by the national values and principles of good governance enshrined in our Constitution of Kenya. May the soul of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, CGH, continue resting in eternal peace. Asanteni sana. I thank you. Thank you very much.
No. The chair is finished.
That's it. Thank you.
Those are live pictures from Delta House, which is the HQ, or the headquarters of the Council of Governors there, and addressing Kenyans, and the press is the council's chair, that is Abdullahi Ahmed, and he, being the chair, has said that as a council, in regards to the reckless remarks made by the Nyeri County Governor Mutai Kahiga, mentioned that they have already struck him off as the deputy chair of the Council of Governors. They are disappointed by the statements by Kahiga, and they say those do not represent or in any way attached to the Council of Governors. Those were his own reckless and unspeakable comments. He has also mentioned that a new vice chairperson will be appointed and offers a sincere apology to the family and Kenyans in regards to that. He has distanced himself as the Council of Governors in regards to those statements. That will definitely be something to look out for. Of course, a breaking news that the Deputy Council of Governor chairperson, who happens to be the Nyeri governor, has been whipped off his seat, and they will be appointing another one in due course. Of course, we will be keeping tabs with what the CoG has really said in regards to that. And allow me to now rope in my panel of experts who are here as that statement was made. And Bishop, we were speaking with you before we had to cross over to Delta House.
Sure.
And in regards to what the council, the deputy council, who has just been relieved of his duties, the governor of Nyeri, and they have totally distanced themselves in regards to those statements. And I believe this is the first really nasty, unspeakable statements that we've had since Baba died. We've had glowing tribute. Yes, he was a man of his own hits and misses, but we haven't had any leader whatsoever, because he was not only a national leader. We've seen even sentiments from even the UN, sentiments from former presidents and even sitting presidents. But we haven't seen such a reckless statement made.
Yeah, those statements, as I said before, were very unfortunate because they were reckless, as even the governors themselves have alluded to. They were also very insensitive because this is not the time when such statements ought to have been said. Of course, they were said, very unfortunate, and I would only say that we are leaders in this country, and when we have lost one of us, we need to restrain ourselves from allowing power to climb on top of our heads and make statements that are not censored by ourselves. So when a leader makes such statements, whether you make them in mother tongue or you make them in a language that everybody understands, we are living at a time when you should not believe that the person seated next to you because of their name cannot understand what you are saying. And even if they don't understand, as you heard Mutai say, AI is here to stay, and people have to adjust to it. You just need to subject it to AI, and it will be, you know, it will be interpreted in the language that you can understand it.
And of course, we're also expecting him, he will be making a statement. He's a public figure.
I know, he will be making statement. And if maybe he's hearing what we are saying or viewing us, or his people are viewing, he should be advised not to just make another wrong statement. He should restrain himself from making amplifying statements that can create more chaos or put him in more hot soup than the others. Silence will be better for him. And if he has to make any statement, I think he should just continue in the spirit of apology, and that will help him and redeem it for that, redeem him for that matter.
Yeah.
But I would say that it is unfortunate, and I would plead with all Kenyans to just understand that that was an individual's message. It was his opinion. It should not be interpreted to mean that it is the opinion of the Kikuyu community. I'm not sure that will be right, because whoever would want to see the Kikuyus in that statement would be going rather too far. They would, I expect people now to see that it is Governor Kahiga, and if anybody has to make a statement, just like the governors have done, make it towards that person and not towards the community. We need a united Kenya. We need people to respect each other, regardless of where they come from, and we need to understand that Kenya is enough for all of us, and we should not use any balkanization to appear, to sound as if we are divided. I don't think we have reached where we are divided. We know when we have been divided, but not now.
Yeah, and Yogo, you just you have watched the Council of Governor Chairperson Abdullahi there talking about really distancing themselves totally with the sentiments of that. And somebody even said that be careful with what you say, because it can only be forgiven but not forgotten. And just like picking up from where Daktari has left and talking about, indeed, yes, he should totally apologize for that, and that should not be used to interpret maybe what the Mount Kenya region or the communities there are talking about. They haven't said anything like that, but he himself has said, and he has not said on behalf of the community. And we were just, the last question I was asking Bishop before that presser was in regards to the handshake, because these handshakes have brought some level of peace and tranquility in Kenya. But looking at the sentiments made by an elected leader of that caliber are not only reckless, but unbecoming.
Well, number one, I couldn't expect any worse from Kahiga or any better. any keen follower, an observant Kenyan must have noted that Kahiga is always very reckless in his remarks. This is not the first. If you watch his comments across the political divide, all through the political campaigns, and when there is political antagonism, Kahiga's statements are always bordering alarmist kind of statements, divisive kind of politics. And I think most probably it's because of also the way he came into power. So I am not surprised by what Kahiga said. That is who he is. And I think Chair here agrees with me, because both of us are believers in the Bible. He said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what he spoke is what is deeply rooted in his heart. But I also agree with the Chair that it is not about the Kikuyu as a community, because I know the Kikuyus who have sold their lives to Raila Odinga, absolutely committed, totally devoted to Raila Odinga, stood by him, supported his campaigns all throughout. And don't forget, Raila is also an in-law in Kikuyu land. And two of his sons actually happen to have married from Kikuyu land. So the truth is, it's not a Kikuyu thing, but we have very myopic thinkers within the Kikuyu community who hold political positions and always try to, their comments border on attacks that could degenerate into very serious political anarchy. And that is not required at this particular point of time.